The coordinator of the legal team supporting the Gaza Flotilla has stated that communications have been lost with all boats remaining in the flotilla. Now, sailing on the legal support vessel Shireen, Caoimhe Butterly has stated that they were in contact with 3 boats approaching Gaza but lost all communication and could not confirm if they had been intercepted by Israel or not. The Mikeno, one of the remaining boats, was last tracked in the territorial waters of Gaza, that is a mere 70 nautical miles from the coast. Now, reportedly, the Shireen is now preparing legal support for another smaller flotilla expected to include up to 13 vessels coordinated by the 1,000 Madeleines Group in partnership with the Freedom Flotilla Coalition and Freedom Flotilla Italy. Listen in to what the legal team coordinator had to say.
My name is Caoimhe Butterly, and I'm aboard the Shireen, which is a legal support or legal observer boat. We are presently quite far away from the remaining 2 vessels that have yet to be intercepted by the Israeli Navy, but we are receiving word of our over 500 colleagues and participants in this flotilla in Israeli custody for detention. We've been told that there are 3 remaining boats on route to Gaza. On 2 of them, I know the captains personally. We've been trying to be in contact with them, but their communication seems scrambled. Of those 3, the Mikeno, which is one of the boats that we've been watching getting closer and closer to Gaza, according to the tracker, is there. We don't have any way of independently.
Joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Ali Mohammed Abushbak, independent Palestinian researcher from Cairo in Egypt. Thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on NewsX World. At the outset, could you explain to our viewers what legal recourse can the activists on board the flotilla take?
Thank you so much for having me. Osama, that according to several of activists and an international law expert, they consider the intercept of the Israelis for the flotilla that it's considered as illegal, and held the activist in the Israelis port, Ashkelon port, it's considered illegal, as well as it's violating the international law, especially that the fourth Geneva Convention that prohibited to put the civilians in risk, and obligated the parts of the conflict to secure a path for humanitarian aid. So this considered it as a bit complicated. Several of countries, they are also condemned the Israeli interception, as well as there is a several of protest on the ground condemning the Israelis' action. On the ground, Palestinian, the desperate civilians in Gaza, they lost their hope to break the Israeli illegal siege, according to several of international law expert in this field. So the thing is, here on the ground, they lost their, I mean, they have no hope nowadays after the Israelis intercept them. There is a shortage in tent, there is a shortage in medicine and essential supplies for the civilians. The price of everything, it's incredibly increased, and I mean, no one can tolerate it to deal with this kind of situation on the ground. So also, I guess this interception of a flotilla, it will impact the fate of conflict between Hamas and Israel, and we are waiting nowadays for the Hamas response with regard what they call it 21 plan of peace that put it by Donald Trump. So think this, yeah, awesome.
As you know, you've referred to the 20-point peace plan that has been floated by Trump. In fact, it has provisions allowing for humanitarian aid. It also calls for the formation of 2 bodies, a technocratic Palestinian leadership, as well as a global body headed by Trump and Tony Blair to look forward to a post-war reconstruction of Gaza. Are you optimistic about this plan? Do you think Hamas will accept this plan? And we do know that the Qataris are mediating. They're trying to convince Hamas to accept this 20-point plan that has been put out.
In my opinion, this plan has been submitted to be rejected by Hamas. There is no significant guarantee for the Palestinians' dignity and for the Palestinian statehood. So Hamas fighting for the freedom, for Hamas fighting to to end the occupation, as every Palestinian militant group. So this plan it's have been submitted to be rejected. There is no any single point about the Palestinian statehood. Also, they are going to supervised by Tony Blair, and who has infamous in Iraq, and we have a several example about his rule and his interface in Iraq, as well as there is no significant bodies for to represent the Palestinian. They are going to select who will represent the Palestinian, as they are Palestinian unhuman beings. So, and this is the notion that Benjamin Netanyahu and his government coalition is trying to portray the Palestinian, dehumanizing the civilians as they are not a human being. They have a right to select who could represent them, as well as there is no future, and there is significant things is not explained in this plan, according to several of media reports. First of all, about the future of West Bank, they are saying just only will not going to annex Gaza Strip. So what about the West Bank? If the Palestinian is not going to establishing their statehood, then why we are fighting the Palestinian? This is a new part, a new kind of colonialism to reoccupy Palestine and to tie the civilians, and giving an opportunity to Benjamin Netanyahu to occupy Gaza and Palestine all, and devastating the Palestinian statehood. Despite everyone, the international community welcome this plan, but I guess Hamas is not going to accept it. And which kind of a plan, giving the Hamas 3 days to decide about it without any part of negotiation? It's look like if either you accept it or no, and if you will not accept it, we are going to wage a war against you. So this plan, I'm not optimist about it, and I guess Hamas it needs some explanation. It needs some point to negotiate about it. Hamas was clear they are not going to rule a Gaza. Hamas, it's clear about its weapon, and it's not going to disarm its military ability. We have witnessed also Hezbollah. It's have a similar faith about demilitarizing their militant ability. So the thing says make it more complicated, and we are waiting how Hamas will respond. But I guess Hamas need a several of explanation about it, and that will make the situation more complicated. And only who's suffering, the desperate civilians and the casualties, as well as the Israelis hostages in Gaza. They are suffering same like civilians in Gaza. So also Benjamin Netanyahu, he sacrificed these hostages, and this war, it's clear for everyone, it's a politician war without any militant aims. And this is this notion, it's confirmed and emphasized by several of Israelis community and the family, the hostages families. They are understand these things. So we are waiting and we will see, but I'm not optimist. And on the ground, the civilians is not optimist. While Donald Trump, he used to, the last week, he gave his, according to them, historical speech on television about this planned Palestinian war. The desperate civilians in Gaza, they didn't following the news. As I asked several of people, they said we were watching football match rather to hear this person. Since the beginning, since the January, he's saying the last of this month, the end of this week, a good news coming, and we will reach to ceasefire in Gaza. But all of this, his speech, it's like a morale. It's like to manipulating the community, manipulating Palestinian and the international community. And the outrage on the ground, the global outrage on the ground, there is a several of protests. And I guess nowadays Palestine and Gaza, it's revolutionary and it's a global revolution. Several of countries witness a protest and witness, several of condemnation of Israelis, and nowadays several of human rights institution consider what is happening in Gaza as a genocide. Hamas has a strong card for it. It's the Israeli hostages, while Benjamin Netanyahu, he has only mirage and the promise and the crocodile tears to confirm and to convince the Israeli community to continue this war.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for taking out time sharing your perspective with us on NewsX World.